Good morning. Hiya. It's LindaLee, and I'm going to try and do this as a live and then upload it to YouTube just so that I'm not so lonely doing this little video. Let me pull us up so I can chat if someone comes on. It's pretty early. It's 9 o'clock on the East Coast, and a lot of people are home though, so you never know. Maybe I'll have some visitors this morning. Let me just find us. I'm not here. Okay, so I'll come back to it and see if it just refreshes. Sometimes for whatever reason it doesn't pull up for me right away. What I really wanted to show, okay, I'm not sure how good where I am is lighting wise or whatnot. I'm on my coffee table in the living room just because there's a little bit more room for what I'm going to do. Let me turn on this light if that helps a little bit. But I just uploaded a video on some basic coffee dyeing that I did in my oven yesterday. And it was just basic coffee dyeing though. I didn't bring out the dot pan, but I wanted to say that Dollar Tree has these little foil dot pans, and you can make, let's see, actually I can probably even just spray. I have the coffee dyeing that I did yesterday. I'm just going to do this real quick so you can kind of see what happens. I just have paper lined on the table. I have a little spray bottle with some coffee in it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray. And it'll create dots on the coffee dyed paper. And ta-da! So you can create different textures and just kind of give it a little bit more interest. I have the other papers that I did yesterday, and what I really wanted to do was create some watermarks, not just dots, but like the coffee rings, or give the paper a little bit more interest. Because they dried, but they dried kind of flat. I didn't get as much texture as I sometimes do with the coffee or the watermarks. So that's kind of why I spread stuff out here on the table. So again, this is just a little spray bottle that I got from the Dollar Tree. And they have nice cheap instant coffee there too. So that's what I do, is I just make a little solution. You can do it with Kool-Aid, you can do it with avocado water or cabbage water, or anything really that'll stain a t-shirt. It's going to stain a piece of paper. So this paper here doesn't have a lot of watermarks on it. So let me see if I can pull us up on the tablet once again. That way I can kind of see what I'm doing. If I'm actually live or not. Maybe I'm not live. Maybe I'm just simply recording. I don't know. Why does it have to be such a puzzle sometimes? It doesn't make sense. Okay, I just must be simply recording. I don't know. So, on my phone, the camera that I'm using, I can see Heidi's here. Just the way it's bracketed, I can't see if anybody else is here. But hi, good morning. What I'm doing is I'm just going to actually make some watermarks on paper that I've already coffee dyed. I have a little espresso cup and a coffee cup, and just show that it's pretty easy to make additional marks on the paper. And then it'll dry, leaving those little watermarks. Of course, now it's gonna work as well as it has in the past, right? That's the way it is when you're on camera. Oh, cool. You're working, Heidi? Are you working from home? A lot of people seem to be lately. Well, a lot of my friends are anyway. All right, so where's the... Oh, here's some of the paper, like I said, that I did the other day. And I just wanted to show that you can spray. And what I like to do is just give it a little bit more character, because sometimes when your paper dries, it dries kind of flat, like this piece of paper. It's definitely coffee stained, but by flat, I mean it doesn't have a lot of character. There isn't any real watermarks. So if I spray it a bunch and create some watermarks, and then it'll dry with a little bit more than just being so flat. Also, when you spray it, it kind of stains a little bit different than when you coffee dye it. It's kind of cool, actually. I brought out some, these are some CD cover I got from Kelly's shop, and I want to show you those too, because those kind of, I don't like to fully submerge these because of the cellophane, but I'm going to show you what they look like when they dry. Actually, let me grab a paper towel real quick, or a Kleenex or something, so I can wipe this part. Now, you don't have to do this. I'm just doing it because, I don't know. I don't know. I brought out some tags so I can spray these. But you don't have to go through the whole business of the assembly line at the oven to coffee dye. As you can see, these are going to have coffee stains. Also, too, if they get real drippy and you kind of rub them up against each other, it leaves different marks too. And then the paper that I line underneath me, this I also use. I cut it up. So where's the... It's pretty quiet this morning. I don't know, I thought there would be a little bit more going on with everybody being home, but it's a little on the quiet side. So I got these little index cards. I'm going to spray them. Also, too, the negative space underneath them leaves a little void from where it's being sprayed, so that actually leaves a a mark as well. So I think I've done this on a Friday Night Live, but sometimes this is my preferred way of doing it. Not only can I, sit and maybe watch TV while I'm doing it, but it gives me a little bit more control on the level of darkness, some of the pattern, if there's not enough. See how I'm kind of blotting this here? And it'll kind of dry with those textures. So I do have another little spray bottle. I didn't bring it over though. It's got some raspberry tea water in it. It's really interesting about that tea water is it's a really bright red, but when it hits the paper, either because it's more alkaline or acidic, I don't even know which one, it turns blue on the paper. It's kind of weird. I should go grab it just so we can play with that too. So let me remember the placemats, the paper placemats that I had brought home from that restaurant. This is how the coffee dye dried on that paper. So this was the top part because I had it folded in half, and this was the bottom. So there isn't near as much character on this side, nor is there very much on the inside. So I'm going to do a little bit of spraying there too. Sorry, get the little coffee ring here. So that way this has got a little bit more color to it. And then we'll take a look at that once it dries a little more. And here is the second one. The one nice thing about doing it this way is you still get the same crinkly texture and feel as if you went through the whole production of the oven. It just takes longer to dry because I'm not putting it in the oven. But, let's see. I'm getting some coffee rings from my little espresso cup. And the neon papers, they tone down a little bit. They're not quite as bright. I didn't get a lot of interesting coffee marks on those either. So now I just kind of have it all spread out. See, it got some coffee marks. Is this in frame? Heidi, help me if you look. Am I in frame? Let me see if I can pull me up again. So what's everybody got on their agenda for today? Working from home. Me too. Oh, I am in frame. Okay, thank you, Heidi. This is bizarre. Why can't I find me? Here I am. Yay.
Because they dry, but they dry kind of flat.
All right. So at least I can see my frame now. Good morning, everybody. Now I can see us. So let's see. These are starting to dry. See a little more character. Isn't that cool? You see the fluctuation in colors. It's hard to tell lighting wise. Yeah, I guess you can see it. But that's all I really wanted to show is, you know, that even though everything dies so flat, you don't have to take that as it is. You can give things a little bit more color and texture just by spraying. Now the paper that I dyed, or that I sprayed when we first came back up, that I had the dot pan sitting over top of. So here's some nice subtle little circles. This took pretty good color. I think I'm going to spray it a little more though. I'm not getting my coffee rings the way I did before. Good morning. So, remember how I was talking about the graph paper? So, this ink didn't really blur like it does, but it faded a lot. So you can't really see it, so it's a lot more subtle, which is cool. It gives the individual papers some character. I like the way these are starting to dry already. Here is my ledger paper. Now this dried a little on the flat side, so there's slight watermarks, not too much. And give that a little bit more darkness. So yeah, this is pretty much all I really had planned, was just to sit here and spray stuff while it dries. Let's just move this a little bit so I have a little bit more area underneath me, because I want to do these little graph paper index cards too. So I'm just going to spray these like I did everything else. And then flip them over. See how they curl? Once the other side is wet, they flatten out. So all I'm doing is just giving them a little bit more character by disrupting the natural fall of the spray. And that's that. So now all my papers will have just a little bit more. And give these a little bit of spritz. So I'm not sure what else I'm gonna do today, but I'm probably gonna come back on and make another shorter video. I don't know, I got a lot of little crafty things that I want to do, not just paper. I mean, it's all part of the process, but you know how it is. You got time and you want to do everything. So here, these are drying now. Let's see if I can. So you can kind of see the character in them. So I like the spraying. Of course, I wanted to get the coffee marks. I'm not really getting those at all. Of course, I haven't really been trying too hard either. And see these. So these are starting to dry. Showing their marks as well. Here, I have a few of these that I did earlier. Let me grab them real quick. It's not too far away. So these two I did in the same way, and they're completely dry. I've used some of them already, but I have these. But yeah, just make sure no matter what your surface is that it's protected. If you're using a wooden table, make sure you put like plastic under you or a beach towel or something. I have this oversized presentation paper that I have on top of a glass table. So, but then that paper I use as well. So, in fact, I think I've used it as packing, when I send out racks. Good morning, Gilly. How are things in your neck of the woods? Actually, is it afternoon for you? I think it is. So, all we're doing is just putting additional watermarks on paper that dyed a little on the flat side when I coffee dyed yesterday. I'm just giving them a little spritz, a little extra color and texture. And that little piece. the character on that one. If you can see it, I'm not sure. And so this is starting to show a little bit extra character the way it's drying, just by adding a little bit more coffee. I've been wanting to make some faux paper, so it looks like it's homemade paper, but it's not completely. I might do that today. I don't know. Good morning, Karen. We're just spraying paper. I did some coffee dyeing on a video that I loaded to YouTube yesterday, but it didn't have a lot of character. So we're adding character. There's my so this is starting to dry, showing additional watermarks. And this was the dot pan. Here, let's do that one again. So these are the dot pans. You can get them from the Dollar Tree. So you don't have to struggle with them, you know, in the oven. It helps if you have a lot of the instant coffee in the water. That way it makes it a little darker on the dots. But instant dot paper, so you don't have to go through the whole baking routine. But again, it's just an additional texture. And then here I can just soak up the paper or the coffee that's on this side and create the texture in a different way. See, and now that'll dry, and the circles will be little voids now instead of being dots. So that's my coffee mess on my coffee table. But like I was saying, I kind of like doing it, the spray, because it gives you a little bit more control on, you know, just where the watermarks are. I've been trying to use coffee cups, but they're not working as well as they have in the past for me. Of course, because we're on camera. I know I like the dot pan too. Some girls have great success with them. I don't, for whatever reason. It's always a little bit of a struggle. But when I spray, like I said, it gives me a little bit more control. So I don't know, is that cheating? Oh, here's some coffee mug marks. Yeah, I just gotta let them dry. Alrighty. Well, that's kind of all I had for right now. I'm just going to sit here and give my flat papers a little bit more life. So I'll probably upload this to my YouTube channel. So I'm trying to grow my content a little bit so that everybody can potentially find us. I figured out how to add the junk journal link and the link to Kelly's Etsy store. And then I'm gonna post some, I still have some eco dye papers that I have available. I got a couple messages yesterday looking to see what I have. You guys want to look at that now real quick? Let me go get those real fast. Sorry, I'm going to walk away for a moment. I'm just going to go grab some of the eco dye papers so that we can take a quick look at what I have. I'll be right back. Don't go away. Okay. So, I have a few kits still. I've had a few inquiries about the smaller pieces. Let me do this real quick, just so it's a little less distracting underneath. So these here are the littles, the small pieces from two different kits that I had together. There's like 15 pieces. This one's from the Midnight and the Mossy. So these are the smalls, or I call them littles. They're just the smaller pieces of paper that I kind of put in between everything. Look at the fern in there. Isn't that pretty? Not that there's a top or a bottom. They've kind of... And they're all double-sided, remember. So they work well as, you know, tags or little note covers. You can talk, Mom. It's okay. So I have this little bundle. Oh, that's cool. And then that. So I have those small ones. I think I have one more kit of the small. I can't remember who was asking about the small ones. Here's the batch that I called Mossy Rocks. So it's a little bit different colors. But again, the small ones. I like making the small ones because it's hard to cut up the bigger pieces. You know, especially if you want to use them as like signature covers or within your signature. So these are already small. You don't have to worry about, you know, cutting up a whole great big piece. Can you see the fern in that one? Isn't that pretty? I have a lot of fern in that batch. My friend Jill likes ferns. There's a little bit of, so this one's a little different in color because this here I used onion skin, where the other pages I don't have onion skins. So there's onion skin on that one too. So there's the other, I think I have one more small kit. Actually, this is a full large kit. So this is 5 larger pieces and 3 small pieces. Again, everything is double-sided. Do I have it in frame? I'm just going to pause a second and make sure it catches up. Yeah. So you can see the hibiscus leaf, hibiscus. Here's a nice pretty piece of fern and an arbicola. A couple of these have a lot of ferns in them, if you can see it. And I'm always interested in how it really looks on camera. I never see it until I watch it back again. And then the hibiscus leaves. And here you can kind of see where those little, the small papers come from, because it leaves like a nice little frame. And then this one has, I started including some smaller pieces so that you don't have to get just the big or the smalls, but you can get a kit. And there's some fern leaves on that one. And you can get the big and smalls with them. So that's called, that particular batch was called Mossy Meadow. I have one called Misty Avocado that was lighter in color. Let's see how this one shows. This one has 5 large pieces and 3 littles as well. And I'm going to post these up on the page. I think they get lost after a while. Can you see that? I'm going to pause and see how it shows. So these are more avocado, so they're a lot lighter in color. And there's the arbicola. They're really pretty because it's subtle. There's a big hibiscus sleeve right here. Some fern. It's really pretty. So the avocado doesn't give us is bright of coloring. It's a lot more subtle. I think it's one of my favorites though. Not only because it's kind of pink, but I like the subtle impressions and outlines. And I think I have one more darker kit. And then I have the one that's the citrusy colors too. And then we'll be done. So this here is called Misty Rocks, this batch. so the colors are a lot darker. Nice great big coleus leaf, arbicola, here's some ferns and hibiscus leaves, hibiscus, they're a little layered, and again you can see kind of like the little frame of the small papers. And the hibiscus leaves. This one is a coleus leaf and a fern. And the little ones that come with this one. This one's pretty. It's got a fern on one side and a little hibiscus leaf and arbicola on the other side. Here's a fern leaf and 2 hibiscus leaves. And then there's a arbicola and fern. So I've got a couple more as well. Bye, Heidi. Take care. Thanks for hanging out for a few. So the only other one that I'm going to show real quick, it's called Squeezed Citrus. And it doesn't have any citrus in it. It's just the colors are yellow and green and orange. So again, it's a little more subtle in coloring. Here, if I put it upright, sometimes you can see the leaves a little better. So hibiscus leaves. And this one's got fern and arbicola. Here's a hibiscus. I didn't use any of the coleus in this batch. The coleus has a tendency to throw the darker colors, and I was using avocado water with this batch as well. So here's some arbicola, a fern, arbicola. I use a lot of the arbicola because it leaves really cool impression. So here's some with the fern leaves, the ferns. And then this one's really pretty. There's a lot of light green. I'm just trying to see how it looks. And here's more of the littles. So it's got ferns, fern, the arbicola, and more fern. So it's got the green and yellow and orange and the avocado pink. So I guess it's just a matter of your color palette that you might be working with. So I have them, they're not all the same, they're all different. You just never know what you're gonna get. The landscapers chopped my arbicola quite a bit last time they trimmed, and it still hasn't even really grown yet. So I don't know how soon it'll be before I can do another batch. But that's what's going on, kids. I still got them. So the mossy meadow. Last time I posted these on Facebook as well. Facebook thought I was selling tobacco products, so they blocked it. So I'm going to give it another try and see how we go this time. If the Facebook police will let me post them so that y'all can, have access to them. Otherwise, you can always private message me now that you've seen kind of what I have. So that's it for now, my loves. I'll talk to you again, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll probably load this to my YouTube channel. Yeah. Here's my dried dot pan. Pretty cool, huh? Alrighty. So that's it for now. I'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day. Be safe.